Hello everyone, welcome to Dilipok's Academy. In this lecture we will revise the basics of inequalities with the help of few solved examples. Comes the first question, which says that if A is less than B, then which of the following is or are true? And clearly it instructs us that we should mark one or more correct answers. So it is actually testing whether we are well versed with the basic principles of inequalities or not. So what I mean by that is, if A is known to be less than B, then multiplying both sides by a positive constant, if you multiply both sides by a positive constant, say 2, then we will get 2A is also less than 2B. Okay? So that qualifies option A to be the correct answer. But of course it could be one of the correct answers, because I still can do something more with this inequality. I can multiply both sides now by 5 and we will get 5A is less than 5B. So taking 5B to the left side, we get 5A minus 5B is less than 0. And taking 5 common from both the terms in the left side, we get 5 times A minus B is less than 0. So that makes option D as well to be the correct answer. Next, if you multiply both sides by a negative constant, I repeat, please look at the screen again. Suppose it is known that A is less than B and you are multiplying both sides by a negative constant, say minus 4. Then you will get that minus 4A is greater than minus 4B. You must have noticed that the direction of inequality has changed. Is purely because we have multiplied both sides by a negative constant. Now shifting minus 4b to the left side, we get minus 4a plus 4b is greater than 0. Taking out minus 4 common from the two terms on left side, we get minus 4 times a minus b is greater than 0. And that implies options A followed by D and E are the final correct answers. Okay, I believe you understood the explanation or detailed solution here. Let us go to the second question here, which says that A lies between 0 to 1, then which of the following is true? So here you can see there is only one answer which is going to be correct, because they have not asked us to mark one or more correct. Now, I'm showing you one of the basic principles which are applicable if a real number lies between 0 to 1. They say if a real number lies between 0 and 1, then the higher powers of a number will keep giving us the lower values of that particular expression. So, for example, if you browse through the options, you can see a power 6 and a power 8. Okay, the relation is slightly surprising, but that is what is exactly true if you choose a number between 0 to 1. Okay, you can make out power 8 is higher, power 6 is lower, but the expression, value of the expression a power 6 is greater than value of the expression a power 8. And I repeat, this is definitely true if you choose a number only between 0 and 1. Okay. So we will mark option C to conclude this question successfully. Now let us go to the next question, which is an extension of the previous question. What is given to us here is A lies between minus 1 to plus 1. Then which of the following is true? Once again we can see it is a radio button type of a question. That is, out of the 5 options, we will mark only one of them as the correct answer. Now, because A is allowed to vary between minus 1 and plus 1, what we can say is A square will dominate A power 4, which will in turn dominate A power 6, and so on and so on. That means still the underlying principle is that if higher power is raised to a number, then that expression will have the lower value than a lower index being raised to that number. So here a square is greater than a power 4 and so on. But you must have noticed one more thing here, that because a is allowed to vary between -1 to +1, the conclusion written over here has only even powers, has only even indices. You see 2, 4, 6 and so on. And therefore we will conclude that option A is true. However, there is one more way of solving this question. We can check this by substituting the values of A. Like first I can take A as 1/2, next I can take A as -12, and still you will find out that only first option, namely a power 4 less than a square, is the correct conclusion. Okay, other options will definitely get eliminated if you choose these values. And if you know the underlying principle as I have written on top of the solution, then definitely option A is true, straightforward. Okay. Now let us come to an important concept, which is absolute value of x, also known as modulus of x. What is stated here is mod x is greater than or equal to 4, and we are asked to find which of the following statements is or are true. Of course, with the instruction mark one or more correct. Now first case I will consider here is mod x is equal to 4. All of us know that mod x is equal to 4 can only lead to one of the two possibilities, namely either x is 4 or x is -4, right? This is simple because of the definition of modulus of x itself. However, if mod x is greater than 4, then this particular statement can be interpreted as the distance between x and 0 is greater than 4. I repeat, it implies that the distance between x and 0 is greater than 4. Now combining the facts that x is either exactly +4 or -4 as derived in the first two steps of the solution, and also the fact that distance between x and 0 is greater than 4, we can conclude that x can be either +4 or -4, or greater than 4 or less than -4. Now you can see the last step of the solution is divided in the options here in some way. Like option A is true because x can be actually +4 or -4, but x can also be greater than 4, which means x can be 12, or x can be less than -4. Now there is no such option present there. Therefore we will mark only A and D to conclude this question successfully. Okay. Now let us look at the last question from today's lecture here. It declares that mod of x minus 1 is less than 3. Then which of the following is or are possible values of x? Now let me again tell you that this question can also be solved, maybe actually faster than what I'm going to show you, if you use the options. That is, if you use the values given in the options or substitute each of the options one by one, you can solve this question faster. But we will solve this using the typical inequality properties associated with modulus. So if mod of x minus 1 is less than 3, then we can conclude that x minus 1 can range between -3 and +3. Now adding 1 to each of the terms given here, it gives us that x lies between -2 and +4. And therefore now we can see my solution set demands that x is allowed to vary only between -2 and +4, excluding the extreme values. Therefore option A followed by B and C are the correct answers here. Okay, because these three numbers lie exactly between -2 and 4. So that is the end of today's session. Thank you for watching. For more such videos, check out our playlist and subscribe to our YouTube channel. Thank you.